Welcome to Embedded, the show for people who love gadgets. I'm Elecia White. My co-host is Christopher White, and we have two guests today, Junhao and Sharif Kassatly. And we're going to talk about posture. Okay, did you just sit up straighter right then? Didn't you? It happens to everybody. I know. Darma, which is their company, makes a posture checking cushion for your chair that I'm going to ask them a lot about. And they're kicking off their crowdfunding soon. So they're in a really early position to talk to. And I personally care about posture because I'm a software engineer and my posture's crap. And so my back hurts. And I looked at making a posture shirt myself with 5 accelerometers and a T across the back and little tiny motors to tell you when you were out of alignment. And then the LumoBack came and crushed my dreams. And we have Lumo lifts on order, so I still think posture is important. But now let's get back to our guests and introduce them properly. Junhao, how are
nice
you?
To meet you.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah.
And what is your background?
Oh, actually, I was born in China. And then in 2007, when I finished my bachelor degrees, I go to Singapore to get my PhD. So I studied optical communication, optical sensor technology. And then I graduated from 2011. Then I joined a research institute to continuing doing optical fiber sensor technology. So, and then in 2013, September, I quit my job and then I decided doing my startups. So yeah, and then I joined a hardware accelerator called a accelerator. So then finally I'm here. I'm attending the demo day. I'm coming to Silicon Valley. Yeah, so I'm very excited.
That's pretty cool, from fiber optics to accelerator.
Yeah.
And Sharif, what about you?
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Chris. Thank you for having us. So my story is a little bit different. So I was born in Lebanon. I studied mechanical engineering, both as undergrad. Then I came to MIT and did a master's there. Then I worked in management consulting for a couple of years. And this is where I realized I really wanted to be more involved in tech in the Valley. And so I came to Palo Alto, to Stanford, to do my MBA. And this is where I met Junhao, and we started working together. And I'm really excited about what we're working on.
And so what is it you're working on? I talked a bit about posture, but maybe I didn't get it all right. Tell me more about Darma.
Yeah, actually, Darma is the first cushion that can track your sitting habits, including your posture, your sitting time, and even your stress level. And then could coach you to sit better in office.
How is it going to coach me to have less stress?
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
That is an interesting point. Yeah, it is our tricky point. Anyone cannot do it. Only Darma can do it.
And so is this based on your fiber optic background?
Yeah, I think so.
Does it use fiber optic sensors?
Yeah.
And so you measure, what do you measure?
So we measure your posture and we measure your vitals.
So I can see how you can get vitals through fiber optics.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. My mental image wrong probably is a 4-year-old. So how do you get vitals from fiber optics?
Oh, actually, so you can... So because normally when you try to capture vitals, so it has many ways. You can measure from your fingers, measure from your heart, measure from your ear.
Well, a lot of people are doing the wrist-mounted two
right.
LEDs and then...
Yeah, that one is similar
frequency.
to the one on the fingers.
Yeah.
So it's an LED kind of shine to the skin and then get some reflections. But for us, we're using any different kind of method. We're using your body's shaking. It's very small shaking. When we have heartbeat, this very small, gentle movement, we capture it. So we can get your heartbeat.
So that's kind of more like when the EMT puts their fingers on your wrist and actually feels your heartbeat.
Yes, that's right. Almost same thing like that. But it is much more about your body's kind of big, it's kind of shaking, a little bit shaking.
The resonance frequency of my butt.
Yeah. That's right. Actually, people are joking about it. Actually, they're saying, so we have we put on TechCrunch. The title is, "Today I measure my heart rate for my butt."
Can you also detect respiration and breathing?
Yes.
That's a very low
Oh,
signal,
actually, the
but
breathing is much more higher than compared to the heartbeat.
lower frequency, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, actually, because that's a measure of stress, right?
Yeah, actually, for the stress level. So I think normally right now, when you are mentioning about the watch can monitoring your heartbeat, so most of them I can only give you a heart rate. It is a number. It is average for about 1 minute. So, but for the stress level, you can only get a stress level when you get a heartbeat waveform.
Oh, so instead of just counting beat, 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 you need to actually see it goes up and then down and then up and then down in the actual what it
Yes.
looks like. The
That's
The rate
EKG
change,
almost.
but the rate changes. I think he's talking about the rate change,
Yes,
not the specifics of the waveform, but
That's right. It's
your heart rate going up from 60 to 90 and then back.
No, it is more
Oh, okay.
difficult than that. Actually, so the stress level actually from a number called a heart rate variability. So what is heart rate variability? So something like so you can imagine right now our heartbeat actually is not very standard. 1 beat after 1 second, another beat after another second, another beat. So normally, for example, I jump 1 beat, then for about 0.9 second, and then another beat maybe is 1.1 second. So it means our heartbeat is not average jumping. So the time difference between two labor heartbeat is called a heartbeat variability. So from this heart variability, we can know the stress levels.
So you're measuring the jitter of the heart.
That's right. Yeah. And actually, the interesting thing is when this kind of difference is much more higher, means your stress level is lower.
So more jitter means less stress.
Yeah. So
And the more you're rock solid in clock,
yeah,
the more stress you have.
Yeah. This is
weird.
This is the kind of a medical kind of a research result. I don't know. Yeah. So
Well, I guess if you're stressed, you're kind of driven. So it's
yeah. So the reason why this one, because for example right now, when you are trying to take a deep breath, so normally when you are breathing in, your heart rate jumping higher, the frequency higher. When you are breathing out, your heartbeat slower down. So this is why some people saying, when you have very high stress level, you need to take a very deep breath. They help you to lower down your stress level. This is because when you are breathing out very much more slowly, you can lower down your heartbeat variability, and you can lower down your stress level. Yeah, this is too medical. It is not engineering actually anymore.
No, that's really neat.
Yeah.
And you get both the very distinct beats so that you can measure the DT, the time between, from the fiber optic sensors from measuring your movement, the very small movement in your body.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, for another point of view, if you want to measure your stress level, you have many ways. You can use something close to your finger to get your heartbeat waveforms. You can also get the stress levels, but sometimes the stress level. It is not something like, yes, I want to know my stress level. I click something to my finger, then I know it. So it's supposed to be, it is always know my stress level, then it remind me when I didn't feel about it. So this is why we decided to do a cushion. So it is always tracking. So when we know you have very high stress level, then we give you a reminder.
I can just imagine having a horrendous meeting, getting really stressed, and then having the cushion remind me. I don't know what would happen to the cushion at that point. How are you providing the reminder? Is it my phone that I'm going to be throwing across the room?
Yeah, actually it can be 3 different kind of reminders. The first very basic one is you have a vibration on the cushion.
Using one of the little tiny motors?
Tiny motors, yeah, vibrate your butt. Yeah. Another thing can be your phone, and also can be on your desktop or your PC or Mac.
So is this cushion Bluetooth?
Yeah, Bluetooth.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And is it powered? I mean, do you have batteries?
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of cool.
I think that's actually one of the advantages is because it's a cushion, it's not a tiny wearable, we can afford to have a bigger battery in it. And so you actually charge it once a month and just forget about it.
I can just the USB power cable into my cushion. It's going to talk.
Yes. Yeah, if you want, we can give you the wireless charging. If you feel the USB is too weird. Yeah, I think so. Because if you are saying, I'm charging my cushion.
I'm sorry, I have
something
to
like-
use the stand-up desk today. I'm charging my cushion. So how does respiration work into your stress level?
Oh, actually, why we are including the respiration rate? Because when we know your stress level is very high. So at the same time, when we're tracking your respiration rate, I think just now I tell you, lower down your breathing rate can help you lower down your stress level. So we can capture breathing rate or kind of your respiration rate. So we can use this rate to help you, to guide you to lower down your stress level much more accurate, much more efficient.
You had an app that helped you with slowing down your breathing.
Yeah, it was a clinical study, actually. And
Flowy?
That's right.
I think it was called Flowy. And basically, it was a simple video game, and you'd hold down the button, and then the circle would expand while you breathe in, and then you release it when you breathe out. And it would kind of train you to breathe slower. And so it seems like you could do something extremely similar.
Right. That's right. We can do it much
because
more
you can directly read how you're
I
breathing.
can read.
Yeah.
I can know when you are breathing in, when you are breathing out. I can coach you to breathe in much more slowly, and then I can give you a biofeedback. Yeah, I can give you the real-time kind of stress level data. So it's much more seamlessly. So you don't hold anything, you just sit on a cushion, watch to your screen, and then listen to the music and guide you when to breathe in, how to breathe out. So it's becoming much more natural.
And so is the goal to use it in a corporate environment to monitor your posture, or is the goal to learn how to meditate?
Yeah, we try to help people meditate much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about using it at work and having it with me all the time. But the feedback, the biofeedback to calm down after a day seems a little easier.
Well, it seems like it can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So how does the posture part work?
Posture, you can imagine it is a kind of many detailed kind of sensors. We have sensors, right? You can detect your heartbeat, stress level. So it means so tiny movement we can detect it. So when you're moving in, so when you are leaning forward, leaning backward, left or right, we can know your changes. So we can predict your sitting postures.
So it's more than one sensor. It's many.
Yeah, a few. Not many, a few. Yeah, we want to know down the cost, so it cannot be many.
More than 2, less than 10.
Yeah, more than 10.
But enough to be quite accurate. So the way it works is we can actually detect the weight distribution across the whole cushion, and that's how we can extrapolate your posture and know exactly what posture you're adopting.
And do you have a goal posture? I mean, do you want people to be sitting cross-legged meditation-wise, or sitting feet down, like chair-wise?
Actually, normally, if you buy a chair in office, the chair is already very smart to teach you how to sit, but normally you don't follow it. So actually, if you buy an iron chair or the steel case chair, so it is very well designed already. So you just need to follow all the curve from the back, sit very quiet, and then slowly here standing up straight. It's all done already, but people just forget about it because the chair is not smart enough. Yeah, yeah.
Junhao is sitting very straight and probably not touching the back of his chair. He's got great posture. And Chris is over here, like his head is nearly even with the top of his chair, and his tailbone is probably on the
That's how
end
I
of the
sit.
cushion.
I'm sure it's quite healthy.
Yeah, so actually the cushion is something like we let you fully use your chairs very well because we can know how you sit.
And do you think that this will train people to sit better without the cushion, or do you think it's good while you're using it, and when you're not, it's just different?
I think it's going to be different. Because I think the cushion, the purpose is trying to. I think people want to have a bad habit. So first, they need something to guide them, train them.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, people don't want to change their behaviors to get a new habit. So why a cushion is something like we can lower down the barrier to change your behaviors. So you don't need to change anything.
Well, it's kind of like Fitbit doesn't make you walk more, but most people who get Fitbits walk more because you get measurements and you get used to like feeding your Fitbit at lunch.
So it makes you walk more.
So it makes you walk more. But it's a pedometer. It doesn't move your feet for you. And so it sounds like this will help you with your posture because it's a longer term thing. You use it, you get used to it, you try it out, you figure out what your posture should be. Saying sit up straight doesn't really help anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
And so this will build the habits.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. So how much is it? And when are you shipping?
Well, this is a very good question. So
we're actually we unfortunately we can't release our price points yet.
Point, right? It's going to be a surprise.
It's there's going to be a little campaign around that. But what we can say is that it's going to be very affordable and within or even cheaper than your typical wearables that you see in the market.
Now, this is the special price reward for our early adopters, owning the people who back us, contribute in our development to get engaged with our products. Yeah.
And this is early adopters. Where are you in product development?
So actually, when we are in the incubator, in accelerator, so we have already get a lot of contacts in the manufacturing. So right now we already have one basic prototype ready. So and we have a forms set down. So right now we need more engagement with the early adopters to get engaged with the development, give us their feedbacks, what they want, so in details, so we can refine our designs to really give the products they want. So right now we are in the final stage for the production. Yeah.
Wait a minute, for large scale production, or are you in the stage where you're building 10 production prototypes to get more feedback?
Yeah, we already have about 10 prototypes. So we need a big contributions to make sure it is the well refined, and then we go to 100,000.
And that's what a accelerator really is good at, is taking things from just a few and introducing you to Shenzhen manufacturers and helping you get a little bit of funding.
That's right. Yeah.
And so how long is the accelerator program and how did you get involved in it?
So actually the accelerator program is 4-month period. So actually normally I know accelerator because of my friend who is he's the first Singapore company who is going to accelerator. So actually he's doing a sexy toy.
A what?
A sexy toy.
Oh, okay.
The last thing done with my project, actually, because of him, I know accelerator, so I apply accelerator, and then I get in. So in the 4 months about the programs, so it's a wonderful experience in accelerator. So before I go into accelerator, I have nothing ideas how to do the manufacturing, how to get the manufacturing, how to get into every components manufactured in very small price and in very good quality, and even how to something like you talk to the manufacturer is a a questions to me. But when I go to Shenzhen and with the help for accelerator, they introduce us to a lot of very resourceful, very good quality manufacturers. Yeah, it's very, very helpful.
And do they help you with the funding side as well, introducing you to VCs and helping you build your slide deck?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and they have a lot of networks in Silicon Valley for the fundings.
Because the program's run out of San Francisco, isn't it?
They are running for the manufacturing in Shenzhen, for the fundraising in Silicon Valley. Yeah, in San Francisco.
We've had some, at least one accelerator startup on before, Light Up.
I know him.
And they were on just over a year ago, and then again about 3 months ago, and they promised they're going to ship that Kickstarter any day now. What funding model are you going after?
You mean after Kickstarter?
Well, I mean, there's VC, there's bootstrapping from your own pocket, there's crowdfunding such as Kickstarter. Which of these big three are you going after? Or angel funding is probably in bootstrapping.
Yeah, it's a very good question, actually. Yeah.
So I think what we're doing is we're in the process of securing a modest seed round, but at the same time we also want to go after the crowdfunding option. Although we believe that we're very comfortable raising more venture funding, we do want to go after raising directly from the crowdfunding community. And the reason why we want to do that is we want to engage with them in developing the product. We believe that Darma is it's a very intimate product in the sense that people end up interacting with it for many hours every day while they're sitting on it, whether it's the hardware or the software through the app. And so we really want to engage early on in the development process with our community to get their feedback and develop the product together. So that's why we're going after crowdfunding in addition to venture.
And we're saying crowdfunding because you haven't quite chosen which platform.
That's correct.
And so Kickstarter, Indiegogo, are there any others you're looking at?
These are the big two we're looking at.
When are you going to decide? How are you going to decide?
Yeah, I think this is the things we're trying to decide. Something like because they have different kind of people on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And Kickstarter has more big audience. Indiegogo has small audience, but they're much more globally. And also they have much more open platforms to you embed it into your own algorithms, your coding to the platforms. But Kickstarter is much more popular for the hardware, and also for the in US. So it means it's very, very tough to decide which platform we are going to. So yeah, it's very challenging. So right now we haven't decided yet.
So US versus international.
Yeah.
And then they have different
big audience numbers.
So yeah, so there are a few differences. Indiegogo, for example, typically has a much stronger analytics tools and dashboard. So you can track much better where your referrals are coming from, how your campaign is performing, how your advertising is performing. They also have actually a wider audience than Kickstarter does. However, on the flip side, Kickstarter tends to be more selective with their campaigns. So what makes it to the platform, and therefore typically the products, the campaigns have higher quality, and the people that end up on their pages are more willing to buy and are stronger buyers. And so both have their own advantages, their own edges, but also some things that don't work that well. And so right now we're still figuring out which one is the best fit for Darma. What we advise people who are looking to raise money through crowdfunding on one of those platforms is to actually reach out to the people that work there. Every vertical, whether it's hardware or gaming, they have their own lead person, and so just talk to them, learn more about the platform, what they have to offer. And I think that's what we're doing now. We're in conversation with them and trying to figure out which one is the best option.
And accelerator doesn't suggest one or the other, or do they help you get in contact with these people?
Yeah, they're helping out contact with the people.
But they don't have a preference. I've only talked to accelerator and Kickstarter people, but that is because my sample size is small, not because it's...
Yeah, actually, most of the accelerator teams going to Kickstarter. Yeah. We have a Kickstarter page, actually. Yeah, just Kickstarter/accelerator.
Oh, okay. Right, because it's like a curated site for Kickstarter, because Kickstarter has these, if you like NPR, you'll like these product sort of things.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you didn't want to talk about pricing. You don't even want to give me it will cost between $10 and $100 or between $100 and $1,000. No,
we can guarantee.
Look at me like it's.
We can guarantee it's a surprise price for you.
Surprise price.
$10,000. Surprise.
No, I mean
a good surprise.
Surprise. What experience do you have that makes you think you'll succeed in Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Well, we're working very, very, very hard to make sure that we succeed, and we believe that as long as we tick all the boxes and dot all the I's, we should be okay. What we've done, this is our first crowdfunding campaign, but we've talked to a lot of people who have done this before, who have succeeded. There are a ton of resources online in terms of what the best practices are. And so we're just trying to get as much information, as much advice as possible. And we believe that, with that, we're confident that we're going to succeed. Now, if for whatever reason that doesn't work out,
succeed with getting it funded.
With meeting our targets, our targets, yeah.
What about succeed after that? What if you get funded? What makes you think you're going to build a company?
Well,
that came out badly? I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a. It was just a. What experience do you have? Why would I fund your Kickstarter not having heard of you before? What? Why?
Well, I mean, not almost every single company out there, every product out there started somewhere, right? Every single founder was a first-time founder at some point in their life. So I think this is where we are right now. This is our first big project. We're very excited. We think that we have the technical expertise and the drive, the ambition to make this succeed and to bring Darma to life. And we're going to be working very, very hard to make that happen.
And Accelerator doesn't want you to fail, and they do provide a lot of support. So, I mean, there's some of that.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of support. That is true.
Yes, that's right. We have a lot of support from Accelerator, and we have a lot of support from very good advisors. So, yeah.
Can you tell me anything about your advisor team?
Yeah, of course. So right now with advisor teams from the healthcare teams, we have Dr. Joan Vernikos. So she's the previous former life science director at NASA.
Right.
So we have Charles Wang. So he's the founder of Guitar Hero. So all kind of so it means we have the house, we have the manufacturing for hardware, how to do in the marketing in US. So all settled down to give them advice to us.
How did you get hooked up with the NASA director? She's pretty busy.
Actually,
can you get me hooked up with her? Can she be on the show? No.
Yeah, I can do my best to try to do that. Yeah, actually, it's quite interesting story to how to get into Dr. Joan Vernikos from NASA to get on board for our advisor. So actually, another time when we are doing a smart cushion, we're thinking about we need advice on health to coach us how to do the health much better. So I just search online and then find out that there's a book called Sitting Cues, Moving Hues. So it's written by Dr. Joan Vernikos. So then it turns out I just sent an email to her. Yeah. And then she replied. And then I sent them the detail about what are we doing, a very simple demo video. And then she's very, very excited actually. So then we talk about 3 to 4 times and then we said, she's on board, the advisor.
Yeah, sometimes you get what you want just by asking.
Yeah,
that's pretty
right.
Cool.
Yeah, you just search online, find some people you wanted, you just contact them. So if they don't reply you get some reference, then contact them, and then they will reply you.
And what is she helping you with? The medical part? I mean, are you looking at doing clinical trials?
So we are planning to do that. So because when we this is why we are doing crowdfunding. So we need people to engage. We let people try. We can do a kind of 100 people trials to say how can we use the NASA's experience to help you to see better in the office. So it is beyond the technical part. It is more about experience, about the healthcare experience, the medical side, how to coach you, guide you into a better sitting habit. So
that's right. You too can be a gerbil with excellent posture.
I'm always sitting very well here.
One of the interesting thing about wearables and health wearables kind of exploding as a market is the line between a medical device and something that aids your health. And the line is kind of a legal one, right? If you start claiming things like, well, if you use our cushion, for a month, you'll experience lower stress levels or lower blood pressure. You can't say things like that without going through the FDA process.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just, if you're more vague. So are you guys kind of navigating that space? Are you thinking about that? Are you considering going through the FDA process so you can make some more claims? Because that's very difficult and expensive.
Yes, I know that. So it means we definitely were going to give people better experience by passing FDA. But we know FDA is very expensive and it'll take about 2 to 3 years to do it. So we will continue to go into the FDA. But before we get FDA approval, we are giving the people data. So we try in small samples to give people data. Yes. So I testing 100 people. So how we coach them, how we guide them, what is their performance. We are going to share all this information to our adopters. Let them feel confident and let them feel, yes, we are really, really contribute to helping them solve the problems. So although we are not a medical products, so we cannot claim we can really help you, but we're going to show you the data to say, yes, we are really, really doing our effort to really try to prove that, to get much more confidence to you to use our products.
Yeah, I mentioned my shirt earlier, and that was where I kind of got stuck, was building enough of them to be able to take them to lots of people and say, okay, does it actually work? Or is it just my imagination that some accelerometers and some motors can help you with your shoulder and back posture? So I think you're on a good track there.
Yeah, that's right. So because we can get enough information about your sitting habits, not just the simple accelerometer to get you some wrong information.
There were like 5 accelerometers, not just one.
Yeah, okay, I think I have 5. Yeah.
No, I'm not doing a competing product, so. And I really like the idea of heart rate and stress and helping you meditate. I think that's really cool. What are you gonna do if it doesn't fund? What are your life plans if this doesn't work out?
Well, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, we're working very hard to make sure that that
it does. No, I got that.
But if for whatever reason that doesn't work out,
the economy tanks. It's not your fault. The economy tanks. That's fine.
Back like a couple of years ago. I think obviously first we'll look inwards and see what happened. Was it because we poorly ran the campaign, or was it that our product inherently doesn't have that market fit that we believe strongly that it does? And so based on what our findings are, we'll have a better plan. But what we know for sure is that we have a very powerful technology that could have a lot of many applications. So we decided to go after a smart cushion and sitting as a first target, just because we believe that there's a huge problem there, and we have the opportunity to help a lot of people. But then there are a lot of other applications that we can also consider.
Yeah, actually, I want to add one more thing. So I don't know whether you know Cooler.
Why they're not
so the
Cooler?
The one right now is quite popular on Kickstarter.
Coolest Cooler.
Coolest Cooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
The coolest Cooler. So the experience for them is 6 months ago, they on Kickstarter. They failed. They didn't get any. They didn't achieve that goal.
Didn't meet their pledge.
Yeah, they didn't achieve the goal actually.
Wait,
6 months.
They didn't fund, or they
didn't fund it. They didn't fund it.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't fund it. 6 months later, they get 8 million funded on Kickstarter. 8 million.
So failing the first time doesn't mean failing forever.
That's right. So although you believe your product is going to succeed, you can do more analysis to say what make the product didn't succeed on Kickstarter. Maybe it is not because of your product. Maybe it is because sometimes the time is not right. Maybe it is not a summer season. Something like the cooler. 6 months ago, it is the winter. Nobody's buying cooler. But right now they launch in summer, and then every people buy it, and then wow, 8 million. So
the audience is really fickle.
Yeah. So sometimes we should analyze something. Maybe the feeling is not because about your product. Sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes because of poor marketing. So many reasons. You should analyze which part is causing my feeling on Kickstarter. Then you feel there's nothing wrong with my product. Every people around me like it. You should continue to do it. So this is my feeling. Actually, I have interviewed many people around me. People feel, wow, it's cool. I like it. So yeah. So even we didn't succeed on Kickstarter, I think we're going to try again to build the products, let people use it. Because we believe the sitting problem is a big problem in the market. And we are doing the right things to help people solve our problems.
This was a good answer. I'm glad I pushed. Some people, are ready to go on to the next idea. And you're very passionate about this one. And that gives me hope that you're going to be passionate and thorough. And I do hope you're funding once you get it.
Thank you.
It all works out. But even if it doesn't, now I'm like, okay, well, if I can't be an early adopter on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, I can still be an early adopter. And I'm happy about that. So
thank you very much.
That was a good answer. I know I pushed a bit.
Yeah.
How did you two meet?
Yeah, it's a very interesting story, actually. So I think it's because of Silicon Valley, I think.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those stories, like the magic of Silicon Valley. So when Junhao moved here from China to to raise funding. He actually ended up in my house in Palo Alto. He was subletting from a friend of mine, from a classmate of mine. And that's basically how we met. He literally knocked on my door and walked in. And so then we started chatting, and I got to learn about his company, his product, and I got really excited. I have horrible posture. I love technology. And so, and then our skills were also complementary. He brings the technical side. I can complement with the rest. And so we just started working together in our living room.
Silicon Valley is sort of like this. I remember Steve Dalton off the air was telling us that as he was going around Silicon Valley in Lyft cars, he would get to talking to the drivers, and invariably they were people who were thinking about doing a company, and then it was really such an environment of everybody wants to build something cool.
Well, it's like LA. Everybody down there has a screenplay.
Exactly. But you haven't finished your coursework yet, have you?
I have not, no.
And so your MBA at Stanford next year?
Right. So I have one more year to go. And actually, some people ask, well, are you going to drop out? Because apparently, that's always the cool thing to do.
That's totally my next question.
Well, happy to answer it. And I guess my answer would be, I don't see a need to drop out right now. I think that actually the MBA specifically at Stanford is a great platform to build a company and to refine a product. So there are a lot of... Are
you using Darma as homework? Because that's cool.
that is definitely absolutely. And it's super cool. Because you also get, feedback from a ton of, faculty members, other students. We have access to a lot of resources at Stanford. So we think it's actually a strong point, not something, something working with us and for us, not against us.
It's like having your professors as part of your board of advisors.
Yeah, exactly.
Without having to pay them.
Without
having to pay them directly.
There's quite expensive tuition.
Yeah.
There's quite expensive tuition, but we don't have to pay them directly. Yeah.
So do you have any advice for people with an idea who are just starting out?
What do you mean?
You a year ago, do you have any advice for the person who's in your position, who has an idea and a passion about something and wants to get started, but isn't quite here yet?
Isn't quite here yet. I think normally if you want to do in a startup, right? So normally you feel you have nothing help from anybody. You feel lonely. Sometimes you need to find co-founders. You need to find business side kind of helps. So, but actually, when you feel you have nothing help from outside, but if you continue to share your ideas with other people, go to the meetups, go to attend some conference, apply some incubator, and you will get help. Definitely. So if you're just trying to do it, all the help's coming to you.
A lot of people with startup ideas want to be very secretive, don't want to tell you anything about it unless you sign an NDA.
Mm-hmm.
I think 1 year ago, I'm in the same position. I don't want to share with anybody. I think it's secret. So, I think people are going to steal my ideas. They're going to copy my ideas to do the same thing as me, and they're going to be my competitors. But it turns out that, people don't care.
Ideas are pretty cheap compared to execution.
That's right.
Execution's pretty hard.
That's right.
Yeah, I think one litmus test that someone taught me a while back was if you're really afraid that someone will copy your idea if they hear it, maybe it's not such a good idea in the first place if it's not that defensible.
Right.
So I think that could be something that for people to think about.
Yeah.
Well, you have a fairly specialized skill set, having worked with fiber optics for years.
Yeah, about 6 years already.
So,
it's probably easier for us to say that, but
Yeah.
No, I think that's true all over. People say, will you sign my NDA? And I'm like, I have a podcast. Don't tell me anything you don't want me to babble on air. What about you, Sharif? Do you have advice for people in the position you're in now?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of similar to what Junhao was saying, but if you have an idea, just talk to people, test it as fast as possible. Because the sooner people say most ideas won't end up seeing the light of day. So the sooner you fail, you can move on to the next idea, and just keep trying until you hit something interesting.
Because the next idea doesn't have to be different than this idea. It just has to be executed a little differently than you did this time.
And there's definitely a lot of lessons learned by testing. So I think just testing and talking about it, but then moving to execution as fast as possible. Definitely a lot of lessons there.
Have there been any surprises so far?
Yeah, so the surprise is I made Sharif. Yeah, quite interesting. Something like, so because very long time ago we think about yes, so yeah, we're very lonely, and then we're from Singapore, and then we want to go to the US market, but people keep questioning. So yeah, so you are from Singapore, you're not born in US. How can you address US market? So some people always question. So and then we thought, yeah, yes, and then we have advisor, we have something else, and then, but something like when you are trying to push to it, and then people are coming around you, and then we get helps. And then I met friends who is Sharif classmate, and then it turns out that I'm living with Sharif, and then finally, right now we're working together. So it's a very big surprise for me. Yeah, it's quite exciting for me to get Sharif right now is helping us. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to be part of the team as well. And I think for me, it's just, speaking to what Junhao was saying, the power of your network. I think some people talk about it, but, especially now since I joined, I started working, it's the amount of resources that people can pull out of their network is really incredible. For example, we were looking for people to help us with design and UX. I just made a post on Facebook and got 10, 15 recommendations for really qualified people. So just don't underestimate the power of your network.
Cool. What about the phone apps? How are you going to handle supporting all the different platforms?
Yeah, we're going to support iOS, Android apps, and maybe some Mac PC.
Do you have a plan for writing the software that will run on all of these things?
Yeah, we already have the iOS guy on board, and I have a friend who is working in Qualcomm who is doing the Android, so he can give me a very good reference doing Android apps. So yeah, so definitely we're going to keep push you the iOS Android apps at the beginning. Then we're going to get the Mac apps for you to get a better experience, bigger screen, guidance.
It's hard to support all of the platforms all the time.
So we're going to first time we're going to push the iOS first. So and then maybe about 1 to 2 months later we're going to push the Android apps. Later, we're going to push the Mac app. So it means iOS, Android, and Mac.
So you've got a
desktop.
Graduated, not at the same time. So,
Windows is in there somewhere, right?
Windows later.
That is such a change. It's unbelievable. Apple started stocking a lot of health products and Internet of Things health products in their stores. Are you guys kind of in the back of your mind thinking, well, maybe we could get into that route?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, iOS 8, Health Kit, and then iWatch. Yeah, so I think for the Health Kit coming out from iOS 8 and also the iWatch, I think it's a very good opportunity for us. It is not competing actually. It is the complementary with our products because iWatch is you're aware about it. Health Kit, it means our data can be used for many other kind of wearable devices, many medical products, so people can have better understanding from work, office, home, sports, so all combined together. So ours is unique, so it can be a very unique complementary to all your other wearable devices.
That's right. Apple has this whole health kit thing, and Google announced their health-related API too.
Yeah, it's very similar, I think.
That's right.
Samsung has something too, but I don't know that people would go out of their way to support that specifically.
But that's nice because you can write your apps and you can do your apps, but if you're involved in their APIs, you can let your data be available to other apps, like the Flowy app that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're very excited about this opportunity of being able to interact with other devices and having integrating all this health data and empowering the user to make better decisions. So yeah, we're very excited about that, and hopefully, Chris, as you mentioned, one day we'll see the Darma next to the Beats in the App Store, in the Apple Store.
Oh, yeah, exciting!
What are your next plans, like tactically, for the next few weeks? You're talking about doing the crowdsourcing mid-September?
Yeah.
What are you doing between now and then?
So between now and then, our efforts are focused as much as possible on getting the word out to get people to learn more about Darma, about the dangers of sitting. So sitting is a disease for those that didn't know. It's a huge problem. So we want to educate people as much as possible about that problem and why it's a problem and how bad it is. It's pretty bad, actually. And then, just get as much awareness as possible prior to our launch.
Yeah, so right now we have 4 people working on it. So me and Sharif is working on the marketing push to the US market. We have another 2. Yeah, another 2. Right now they're in China, working with the factories.
So we're not
stopping. We're not stopping doing the products.
We're not waiting to get the funding to get started. We're ready because we want to make sure that we meet all our deadlines and targets and ship on time, because we know that that's a big deal on Kickstarter or on crowdfunding campaigns.
Very cool.
It's pretty unusual, I think, to actually have all your ducks in a row well before the Kickstarter or whatever the crowdfunding is done. That's I think that probably good advice for other people is don't wait until you've got, do what you can up front so you're prepared, because like you said, a lot of these things, people get very angry. I know there's been several high profile campaigns that get funded and it's been 2 years and, some of them were products that were like very timely. It was, an accessory for a particular phone. And then it comes 2 years later. It's like, well, I don't have that phone anymore.
Whoa.
So
that's bad.
This is not that kind of product, but it's still cool that you're moving forward quickly.
Yes, but difficult because you have to pay for all of that to happen.
You have to have something to.
Yeah, and this is where the seed round comes in to help finance that and make sure that we're on track.
Cool. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I think I'm about out of questions. Christopher, do you have any?
No, since I think.
I keep wanting to ask about price and to discuss how they're going to set their price, but I think
and how it works.
I think we've established that maybe that's
anything beyond this. I know you're focused on this particular product, but are you thinking, okay, what's next after that? How can we further enhance this beyond this first version?
Yes.
FDA.
I know you can't probably answer specifics, but
yeah. So actually, we have a very, very big vision. We're not just trying to do a smart cushion. We try to doing something like smart health home. So this is my big vision. So why are we doing a smart health home? So because normally right now, the wearable is a big trending. People are doing every wearable devices. People are doing smart homes to make your home is much more smart, intelligent, cool. But for me, I think if the home is smart, it's good, but it's not really solving a very good problems. So the things in my vision is my home should be smart enough to care about my health. This is my vision. So
like embedding sensors in all kinds
around
of common
and then
things.
Care about me, care about my health, care about my sleep, care about my parents at home, very long distance. So this is my vision. So
newborn baby. Yeah,
baby, old people. So this is my vision. Means coaching is the first step. Actually, it is care about your office first. You can embed it into your home, anywhere else.
Yeah, and I think it's a good first step because it's a wide market and people understand it. That's cool. All
right. Well, Sharif, do you have any last things you'd like to add?
Well, I know that you were very keen on price, and so what we can say is that if you guys keep an eye out on our Facebook and Twitter pages, I think you'll have a very pleasant surprise coming up in a couple of weeks prior to launching the campaign. So I highly recommend you guys like our page, follow us on Twitter, and keep an eye out.
All right. Well, those links will be on the show notes. Junhao, do you have any last things you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think because this is a gadget show, so a lot of people are from engineer side, and then maybe in Silicon Valley, so every people want to do startups. So I think I want to have a quick kind of advice or kind of a promotion, something like kind of an accelerator. So I think if you really want to do hardware, so considering to go to China first time, to visit factories, and then join a hardware incubator. So it really, really help you to do some things on the hardware side. Because I think normally people try to do hardware. The difficult side is, yes, a very cool ideas, so it may be unique, but you don't know how to manufacture it. And then you also need mentors to say whether your idea is fit into the market. So I can give a very rough idea of how our around 4 months experience in accelerator. In the first month, normally we have very big famous mentors globally coming to Shenzhen, our office, to guide you to refine your ideas. So you keep talking to the mentors. We have mentors from IDEO. We have mentors from very good experience, kind of Bonnie Huang, who's very expert. Yeah, so it means we have all these kind of very good experts to teach you, guide you how to do the hardware, the market fit. This is the first month. Second month is they are taking us to the factories to find the manufacturer that is fit into your products. And in the final about 1.5 months, we are mainly focused on how to do a Kickstarter campaign, how to do the media, how to do the marketing, and then how to brand your ideas. So it means at the beginning, maybe you have only one simple prototype, one idea, but when you finish this 4 months, you know what you are going to do, you know how to do it. You know how to do it much more successful. So it's very, 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 very unique experience. You can keep you on track how to do a hardware very well. Yeah. So yeah, hardware is hard, I know, but if you get some helps, you can do it very good, very well. Yeah. This is my final advice for all engineers, all the people who want to do hardware startups. And I believe hardware is a very big trending in the following 10 years compared to the hardware, the Internet things bubbles coming from 2000 to 2010. But right now, I believe the hardware is coming back. We should do hardware startups.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Although the hardware is hard part. I've heard some people just get, you want to start a flame war saying that is one of those things.
Yeah.
Why do you say it?
You mean hardware is too hard?
Yeah. What is hard about hardware? You toss up a schematic and...
Yeah, I think...
It's not that hard. I've met hardware engineers, Yeah. And I am trolling you. I'm not serious. So, but I am curious why you're saying that.
Yeah, actually, for hard thing is normally... because for the hardware things, it's because you need to build something. So the
molecules, actual physical molecules.
That's right. So it means, unlike the software thing, so it means for the software, you can change your ideas in 2 weeks, in 1 week. You can test out very, very frequently. So it means you put out one idea this month, and then maybe next time you totally changed because the cost is very low. So you can keep changing your ideas, refine your ideas very quickly, doing testing with the kind of online, whatever. But if you're doing hardware, when you're choosing ideas, you believe it's very brilliant ideas. You keep doing it, spend one year, and then you turn out that nobody buy it.
And you've sunk a lot of money in.
That's right.
Not just your time.
That's
but
right.
Actual outlay of cash.
That's right. Time, and because for hardware you need to test some things, and then but time is limited, the money is limited. So how can you find a very good ideas? It is market fit. And you know how to manufacture it. So it's time consuming. So if you don't know how to do it, if you don't have a very good guidance, a mentor to teach you to find a good market fit, and then how to manufacture to get a very simple prototype to test it, it's very hard.
Hardware can be very hard.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, but you know how to do it. It's super fast. Yeah.
So you're shipping by Christmas? Not that super fast.
Not that super fast. I mean, you can know very clearly what the right things you are doing. You feel much more confident. You know what kind of resource you're going to find. You know how to do it. You have clues. Yeah.
Oh, and I thank you. That does help a lot. I think that's great advice. And I'm excited about Darma. I'm looking forward to your crowdfunding.
Well, since I heard about the meditating stuff, I'm more excited about it. So
sometimes
I was focused on posture, but
when I do meditation, it's
so everyone is
agitating.
meditating. I'm meditating. Sharif is meditating. Yeah, and actually we are thinking about doing a meditation cushion. Anyone is interested in the future?
Yeah.
Wow, quite nice. 4 hands up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you both for interrupting your weekend to talk to me.
Yeah, we're honored to be
having
here.
us.
My guests have been Junhao Hu, CEO of Darma, and Sharif Kassatly, who will have a title soon, I'm sure of it. And their crowdfunding campaign starts in mid-September. And I will tweet it, and the link will be in the show notes as soon as it's ready. In the meantime, you can follow them on Twitter or like their Facebook page. And now, thank you to Christopher White for co-hosting and producing, and thank you for listening. You may now return to your normally slumped posture, at least until your gadgetry reminds you to sit up straight. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to talk to us, email us at show@embedded.fm or hit the contact link at embedded.fm. I had some posture-related quotes for the final thought this week, but I think I'm actually going to quote my guest, Doctor Who. And that is, my home should be smart enough to care about my health.